Today I will be discussing the Internet of Things, cloud computing, and open source. Now, just what are all of these things? The Internet of Things, the cloud, open source? Well, if I were my philosophy teacher from last semester, I would start by saying that each of these things is a metaphysical entity. Thankfully, however, I am not a philosophy teacher, and this is not a philosophy class. So let's get started. The Internet of Things. The Internet of Things is the connection of devices to the Internet through a network, whether that's something like 4G, LTE, or Wi-Fi. In the Internet of Things, data is sent and received between devices. This is all made possible thanks to IP addresses. IP addresses, with the IP standing for Internet Protocol, are basically a series of numbers that are addresses, like our home addresses, but for devices, so that specific information can be sent and received to those intended devices. The idea of the Internet of Things is that eventually everything will be connected. This includes connecting something as simple as your toothbrush to your iPhone so that you know how long you've brushed your teeth. It's even estimated that by the year 2020, there will be about 20 billion devices connected to the Internet. With the growth, however, comes the constant threat of security issues, as companies will have to find more ways of saving more and more information on servers in such a sophisticated way so as to prevent information from being hacked. The issue of security, however, brings me to my next topic of cloud computing. Before I can get too involved in the fears concerning the cloud, I first have to describe to you what the cloud is. And possibly one of the best ways to describe what it is to describe what it is not. What the cloud is not is your physical computer. The cloud does not contain any part of your computer. These tangible parts of your computer are considered hardware. The screen, the mouse, your CPU are all examples of hardware. The CPU, or central processing unit in your computer, for example, is what holds most of the instructions for operating the computer. Additionally, memory such as random access memory, RAM, and read-only memory, ROM, contain important data which is pertinent to a well-functioning computer. Now that we have sufficiently covered what the cloud isn't, let's go ahead and discuss what the cloud actually is. The cloud is simply the act of storing information over the Internet via a server. For example, I used the cloud-based Google Drive to create this presentation. Google Drive is considered to be a public cloud as it is open to the public. It provides the consumer with the ability to create documents, spreadsheets, presentations, among other things, online from the very start. In any cloud program, the creation is always saved through the Internet to an off-site server. No information is saved to the computer itself. So now that I have explained to you a little bit about the cloud, specifically the public cloud, now it is my responsibility to inform you about the fact that there are actually multiple types of clouds. But don't worry, it's not too complicated. The next cloud I'm going to talk to you about is the private cloud. A private cloud is more often used for businesses, while the public cloud is meant for the average consumer. Private clouds are more often used by businesses as businesses use their own cloud provider to run and save their private information specific to their company. Finally, there is the hybrid cloud, which, as you might have guessed, is a combination of both the public and private clouds. Through a hybrid cloud, a company can share data from its private cloud and interconnect it with a public cloud. Now, as I said before, people do have some concerns as to the safety of the cloud. Many are concerned about what happens to their documents once they save them there. They worry about hackers and system failures, causing them to lose all of their important documents. While companies will always try to prevent data hacks, information should be safe from system failures, as companies have what is called redundancy. This means that things saved to the cloud are saved to more than one server, meaning that there is more than one backup of an individual's documents. Despite these minor concerns, cloud computing is an efficient way to write and save creations and is expected to grow in the near future. Just as the cloud is growing, so is open source. Open source is any software where the source code is made public and free and allows other individuals to alter and improve upon its original design. Open source programs foster collaboration among individuals as they improve the codes, making the programs more efficient and less error-prone. Through programs like Linux, developed by Linus Torvalds, which do not require permission from the original creator of the product in order to use the actual codes, programs can be easily and quickly updated. Because of these free source codes, innovation and collaboration, the technological world can quickly increase in growth as the implementation of these source codes can be used in new technological gadgets. So, just to review, the Internet of Things is the sharing and receiving of data over a network through devices. Computer hardware includes any physical components of a computer, while cloud computing deals directly with accessing, creating, and saving to the Internet via an offsite server. Open source is the availability of free software source codes so that they can be easily improved upon and used to create a bigger and better technological world. Hopefully, you've learned just a little bit more about the world of technology through this presentation, and will implement some of this information into your daily life. Thanks for listening.